I think Coolsville sucks.
What you call an icon living? Puerto Rican living, Miss Rich just did it. I love over 5 minutes. Whoa, we up too hot in the place.
Hey guys, it's Mayanna, and today I'm going to be talking about The Queen of Nothing. God, can y'all believe that last year we only had The Cruel Prince and now we have all 3 books in the trilogy? Like, that is literally so crazy. Like, that is so wild to me. If you're new to my channel and you don't know, the Folk of the Air series, which is The Cruel Prince and The Wicked King and The Queen of Nothing, is my all-time favorite series. I love it so much. Literally, I guess my favorite thing in the entire world. I was gonna film it in front of my setup that I have, but I don't have the Queen of Nothing because my Target wasn't there for some reason. And the exclusive edition doesn't get here until Friday. But I really want to review this book. Y'all, I literally read this book Monday. I finished it in 8 hours. Yes, 8 hours, because I was trying to savor it. And that was me trying to savor it. But I was like, I'm gonna finish this book before like anybody else can spoil it for me, obviously. Because when it comes to The Cruel Prince, the stands of that book will literally ruin everything for you. I'm not gonna lie. Like, on Twitter, like, I would not suggest getting on Twitter for the rest of the week, but I already knew that, so I wasn't about to get spoiled, so I read it on Monday. I was like, y'all ain't about to spoil me, no chance. And this is kind of gonna be like a book talk slash book review. I just got off work. I'm in my Harry Potter pajamas, like in my front of my Christmas bookshelf. Like, isn't this so cute? Anyways, besides the point. So we're gonna be talking about The Queen of Nothing because, yeah, I talked about, the only book I didn't do a book review for was The Wicked King, I believe, but I really want to do a book talk for this one. And so basically, first I want to say I have a non-spoiler section and then a spoiler section. I was gonna do 2 completely different videos, but I really don't like, I don't want to do 2 completely different videos. Like, I want to do just one, like, sit down, real chill, like, book talk for this book. So if you haven't read The Cruel Prince or The Wicked King, get out of here, go read it, bye. So this book, The Queen of Nothing, is the 3rd and final book. I say final because I believe that we are going to be getting another book in this series. It's not confirmed, it's not confirmed, but I believe we're going to get another book. Holly Black has never stated, she's never said it. She kind of alluded to it a little bit, but she's never said it. I believe that we're going to get another book in this series, or another spinoff, or something. She might pull a Cassandra Clare and drop 3 more books on us. I'm going to get into everything that I loved and all that stuff. So basically, I do want to state that I'm going to rant a little bit before I get to the review. I do want to state that if you did not like The Cruel Prince and The Wicked King, do not waste your time reading this book. You are not going to read this book. I love this book. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars, but I am so tired of people who don't like certain books still reading it just because. Like, it's just so weird to me. Like, why are you reading this book knowing that you hate it? If you feel FOMO, that's fine. Just feel that FOMO. Like, read something else. You don't need to read this book because you are bringing the ratings down, okay? But this goes in general. Stop reading books that you don't like and you know you don't like just because everybody else is reading it and you want to be a part of the hype. Honey, if you didn't like the first 2 books, you're not going to like this one. I'm sorry to break it to you that way. I am 100% sorry. But if you didn't like it, you're not going to. Like, you're just not going to. But I'm going to do a spoiler section. So if you want to know what happens in the end and you just want to find out what happens, then stay tuned. That way you don't have to read the book. You don't have to waste your time. So, yeah. I personally love this book. Like I said, I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. It was everything to me. There were so many things that I loved about this book. I can't think of not one thing that I didn't like about this book. Well, yeah, I can think of one thing that I didn't like about this book. So, reading this book, I read it in 8 hours because I kept procrastinating. Like, if I would have read this, I read this book, I started at 12 and I ended at 8. I would have probably, like, if I would have started this book at 12 in the morning, like 12 a.m. I would have finished this book in like 2 hours because it was really easy to breathe through. But I kept getting on Twitter. I had to stop for a food break. Like, in the daytime I had more to do. I was washing while I was reading the book. So I had a lot to do. But honestly, this book starts off, like, one thing I noticed about Holly Black is, like, with The Cruel Prince and The Wicked King, they start off really, really slow, and they kind of don't really get into the good tea until the second part. But with this one, it kind of gets into the good part, I want to say 5 chapters in. It kind of, 5 chapters in, it kind of gets off to the good part. It does get a little slow at a certain scene, but after that, the book, you will literally just speed through the book. There's so many good things about this book. This book made me like Cardan's Tale. I'm not a stan, per se, but it made me like his tale, which is a lot for me to say because y'all know I am a Cardan Tale anti. I hate his tale. Well, I hated his tale. But now we're kind of like this. I mean, if I like seen it, I wouldn't cut it off. But I'm not a furry. So don't get me wrong there. I like Taryn. I don't think that she kind of got a redemption arc a little bit, but like not really. She just chilled out. Basically, like the most annoying thing about Taryn was the fact that everything she said was just always annoying. But in this book, she was not annoying. Like, she really, really just was chill. Like, she chilled. Like, you know? So I really like that. You know, I loved Cardan and Jude. And Jude was such a baddie in this book. But she was such a baddie. Like, always. But Jude is literally my favorite female character. And she has such character development. And you see that a lot throughout the book. And I really, really loved and appreciated that. And of course, I loved Cardan, like, and then the Jude Cardan scenes, like, there's so many quotes that I want to highlight. Like, I can't wait to annotate this book. Guys, I'm not playing. I reread the epilogue 3 times. Yes, 3 times. I was low-key, like, if I would have got that book today, I would have started rereading it and annotating it, like, as soon as possible. I'm supposed to get it, whenever I do get it, I'm going to start rereading it, annotating it. Like, I'm not kidding. I'm not playing with you guys. Like, as soon as I get it, I'm annotating the book. So let's hope I'm not reading something else because whatever I'm reading is off the list. One thing I do want to say is I think that I enjoyed this book a lot more, though, because I hadn't read anything in 3 months. And for me, I am, like, I read a lot. Like, I'm an avid reader. Like, I'm reading 15 to 30 books a month all the time. And so for me to just take a break from reading, like, once I picked up this book, like, one thing I do notice is, like, whatever books I pick up after I, like, get out of my reading slump, I enjoy a lot more than, like, when I was, like, before I got in my reading slump. Like, all the books I was starting reading, like, I was just starting to get bored. I was just like, let me stop before I, like, hate every book I have. So I think that me taking such a long gap between reading also, like, extends my enjoyment of this book because I just thought it was so amazing. And it was literally perfect. It was everything I could ask for in a book and more. I'm trying to think of other things that aren't, like, spoilery that I could talk about, but I'm really trying to get to these spoilers, sisters. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Like, I know a lot of people haven't read it because it just came out and I'm literally a crackhead, but what can I say? We have no choice but to stand, okay? I really do hope that Holly Black writes in this world. I don't really want her to write more Jude Cardan, which is like, but the ending to me was perfect. And I don't want that. I don't want to say Holly Black would ruin it or anything, but like, I couldn't ask for more. Like, Holly, like, everyone's like, oh, I want Holly Black to give us just like a book with like just Jude and Cardan. She's not gonna do that. Like, we would love that, but like, what can anybody gain from that book? So what I would like to see is, I would like for her to do a book with Nicasia. Like, I would love that. Hate to Love, obviously. I would love to see her do a book with Oak. Like, Oak is older. Oak is one of my favorite characters in The Cruel Prince, and I think I just love him because he's just a little kid. Like, he's literally just a little kid. And I know a lot of people think of him as like spoiled and a brat, but like, he grew up in fairyland, so that's literally most fairies, like, duh. But I don't know, Oak is one of my favorite characters, you know, ever since, you know, Prince Dane had been exposed to be the trash he is, because I used to stand Prince Dane. I used to be a Prince Dane stan. So he's exposed to be the trash that he is, and the queen of nothing. So Yeah, I just like, I would really like a book set. I want to see more of like the sea. Like I want to see more of like the Queen of the Sea and stuff like that. Like I think that would just be so interesting. Like for Holly Black to write about like mermaids and stuff, like that would be literally amazing. And like I know if she did, Jude and Carter would come up in it because the books, like the characters from the Darkest Part of the Forest show up. They show up in the series quite a lot. They showed up in the Cruel Prince. So if you haven't read The Darkest Part of the Forest yet, I would suggest reading that first if you want to read The Darkest Part of the Forest, because it kind of does spoil like who ends up with who in the books. But yeah, and then the characters from the modern fairy tales, that modern day fairy tales, some characters from there come up too. So like Holly Black does not like, she's not new to like putting like her characters in other books. So I know that Jude and Carter would show up, or at least have them be side characters. Like, oof, I would love that. I just think that Holly Black should write in this world more. I think she really would. Like, and then come on now, she released a book 2 months earlier than what she did. I believe that there's going to be an announcement like January 17th, January 18th. She released the book 2 months earlier than what it was supposed to be. So I just have my suspicions. But anyways, I'm trying to get into the spoilers. Alright, if you haven't read The Queen of Nothing, which I mean most people probably haven't, sane people probably haven't, and that's totally fine. If you want to stay and you don't care and you haven't read the book and you don't care to read the book and you want to know what happens, like definitely stay. If you've read the book, please stay and make sure you comment like your opinions down below because I want to know. We have to get into the spoilers. Okay, so basically, I loved everything about this book. As I said before, my favorite scene in this book was actually the scene where Carter turns into the snake, and the smut scenes, guys. Well, scenes, it was only one, but that scene, I just love Jude and Carter so much. I think they're the kind of couple where their relationship is like weird, but only they understand it. With Jude, like when everybody was saying like how she should hate Carter because he exiled her, but then he was talking to her and he was like, you're the queen, like you should know that you could pardon yourself. Like I thought you would be proud of me because you're always playing tricks on people and you're always scheming. I thought you would be proud of me. That scene literally made me cry because I'm like, oh my gosh, like Carter is such a soft boy. Like I've been saying, like Jake from Jake Does Books pointed this out. He is such a soft boy, and like it's weird that people were saying he was acting out of character, but even in The Cruel Prince, you could see that Carter was like a soft boy. Like you could see, it's just so, you know, you could just tell from the Wicked King, from The Cruel Prince, if you like think about it. And I don't think he was out of character at all. First of all, how do you say that an author wrote their character out of character? Like, come on now. You can tell that Holly Black has been, like, she planned out this whole thing. I think, I believe Holly Black ain't the kind of writer who just, like, comes up with stuff as it goes along. I think she planned out everything she wants to happen from the beginning. Because think about it. There are some points in this book where she brings it up. Some stuff from the first book she even brings up in the last book. Like, come on now. Like, most authors will probably forget about the stuff. Me, I'm not an author, but I do write. Like, I forget about stuff that I put in, like, my first books. Like, you know? So, I think that she had this planned out all along. She knows her character. She knows how she wants them to be. Obviously, she's the author. I don't understand how you could say that an author wrote their own characters out of character. And I honestly believe it's because people really think that Carter's supposed to be, like, this mean guy and like the Cruel Prince, which I mean he is, but he hated how he felt for Jude, and that's why he was the way he was. He didn't hate her, he hated how he felt about her, which we discovered in the first book as well. All this stuff happened in the first book. I don't think we were reading the same book. I really don't think we were reading the same book, because how are people saying that he was acting out of character? Like, what did y'all want him to do? Throw her off a cliff? You wanted him to betray her again? In the book, he even states he betrayed her because he basically wanted her approval. He wanted her to be proud of him. So how was he acting out of character? How? Explain it to me. I want to know. Because it's just not adding up. It's not. 2 + 2 don't equal 4. It's just not correlating. It's not. I just don't. I don't see it. Like it's not making sense. Make it make sense, because it doesn't. You can't, because it doesn't. Okay, like anyways, done with that little rant. So yeah, Carter was just so soft and I loved it. And the book literally had me on the edge of my seat the entire book, because like I was so scared Carter was gonna die. Like I was literally so scared Carter was gonna die. And I was so overwhelmed. And like I cried twice reading this book. I cried before the second half in the epilogue. I read the epilogue 3 times. I only cried one of those 3 times. But I was just so scared that he was gonna die, because I don't know. But it makes sense that no one died in the end, because the book keeps alluding, even in The Lost Sisters, the book alludes to fairy tales a lot. And like it just alludes to like fairy tales and how important they are to the story and how it plays into the plot line. So it makes sense that it had a happy ending, because fairy tales have a happy ending. And like I like that it had a happy ending, because I didn't have to cry. Well, I didn't have to cry sad cries. I cried, but it wasn't a sad cry. And when I don't make a sad cry, that makes me very happy. So I ain't complaining. And it's just like, I would love for Holly Black to pull a Leigh Bardugo and create a book of fairy tales within this world, because even in the darkest part of the forest, like the fairy tales that they touched on were just, Holly Black is just so good with like fairy tales. Like I would like to see her do a fairy tale retelling, because I think she would just do such an amazing job at it. But I love the scene where like Cardan is a snake, and where Jude is like thinking about like him just being on the carpet and like being the snake and being on the carpet. I don't know why I love that. Like that was my favorite scene. What else? I thought that the book did drag, but like literally after we found out, first of all, the book starts off so good, because after we found out that Locke died and Taryn was pregnant, I was like, ooh, ooh. It's crazy how Taryn betrayed Jude, but Jude was the one who got a happy ending in the end, because I mean, Taryn would probably be happy with her child if she got Locke's estate, but we all know what Jude wanted was love. She even betrayed her own sister because she wanted to be loved. So I found it very ironic that Taryn ended up being the one who really didn't have that love from a guy that she wanted, whereas Jude didn't really care about love, but she ended up with that. Like I thought that was so interesting. I really liked what happened with Maddox and how he was exiled and had to live in the real world, and Viv was like so happy, and I felt like she could finally have a real dad at this point, like because you could just tell she was just so happy. And I really liked that. I just loved it so much. And my favorite part was when Cardan was like, when Jude was pretending to be Taryn and Cardan knew. And I'm like, even when I read I'm really glad that I didn't really read any leaked scenes, because like I even stayed away from like the quotes that the novel did, because I read one where Cardan like didn't know that Jude was Taryn. And that didn't make any sense to me, because Jude does the same thing, and I think it's either the Wicked King or the Cruel Prince, so she does the same thing, and Carter knows just like that. Like he knows right off the bat that is Jude. So I'm like, there's no way that she could do this again and Carter wouldn't know. Like, come on now. I stayed away from the leaked scenes, and I'm really, really happy I did. It just made the book all the more enjoyable. And there were a couple of things in this book that I thought I was gonna get. I thought I was gonna get Carter's point of view. I could have swore Holly Black said that. We didn't get that. I thought we were gonna get a scene where like Jude has like a mortal boyfriend, and like Cardan comes to the real world, and like nobody told me we're gonna have that, but for some reason I made myself think we're gonna have that. Anyways, be on the lookout, because I'm about to write that fan fiction. Like, y'all think I'm playing? I'm about to write that fan fiction. I might even do a video of me writing that fan fiction. I think that would actually be really, really fun. So let me know if you would like to see a video on that, because I already have my idea for it and everything. I just need to write it. So let me know if you want to see that. What else was I gonna talk about? Yeah, I really like the scene of Jordan. I really like the scene of Cardan in the mortal world, and like him eating pizza and just him wearing like normal human clothes, and like Jude, he was like gonna like glamour himself, but Jude would be worried because she didn't know if he knew. Oh my gosh, speaking of worrying, when Jude fell and Cardan was literally freaking out, I don't know why I love that. Like, Jude was about to give Cardan a heart attack throughout this whole story. I don't know if you guys seen the letters. I don't have the exclusive edition, but somebody tweeted a picture, so I seen the letters, and the letters just made me so, I was like, wow, I need a man like Cardan. Like, I am always the one who's like texting guys constantly. Like, I'm very clingy, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm clingy, so I'm always the one that's like texting guys and like double texting and triple texting and quadruple texting. Like, once you tell me, I'll like even ask like if it's annoying, like let me know. So if they don't let me know, that's their problem. But Cardan is the one who's gonna double text you, and I'm like, wow, I need a man like Cardan. Like, I feel like Cardan, like Jude would leave Cardan on red, and Cardan would lose his mind. Like, he literally would like he would literally flip out. Like, he would lose his mind. He would like probably call her like 18 times, and Jude would like see that she has like a missing call. And she would just be like, listen, I'm trying to eat my fish sticks and watch The Real Housewives. Like, I really feel like that would be, I don't know. Because, like, from the letters, like, he was sending her letters and he was just like, please come home. Like, I was just like, wow. I need a man like Cardan who will literally do anything for me. Like, the books are the reason why I have unrealistic expectations for relationships, because men just are trash, but men in books, they aren't, and that is just very unrealistic. The book was just amazing, and I loved it, and I loved the end, and I loved the happy ending. It just made me happy, and everything about it was amazing, and I have no complaints. So yeah, let me know your opinions down below. If you didn't like the book, if you're a fan of the Folk of the Air series and you didn't like this book, I would like you to block me. But other than that, let me know how you felt. If you do put a spoiler, please, 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 please tag spoiler. You know, put some emojis. Make sure you tag that it's spoilers so that people reading the comments aren't spoiled. You know, it's the common decency, I guess. Tag your spoilers. But yeah, so comment down below your opinions. Make sure you tag them if they're spoilers. Let me know if you want that fan fiction, because I will write it. I really will. I'm not playing. I'll do a whole video on it and everything. Let me know if you like this setup. It's my Christmas setup because Christmas makes me happy and I'm very depressed. So, but yeah, that's it for this video. Like, comment, and subscribe, and see you guys in my next video.
A beautiful sight, we're happy tonight.